If you are currently doom posting on Reddit or Twitter about the V3 beta changes for Evanescia, you need to log off, take a breath, and listen to me very carefully. Over the last 48 hours, the Honkai Star Rail beta servers updated to version 3. If you have been around the leak community for a while, you know V3 is historically the make or break patch where Hoyoverse finalizes a character's multipliers before release. And naturally, because Evanescia's base skill multiplier got tweaked down by a fraction of a percent, the entire community is screaming that she got nerfed into the ground. They are saying she is unplayable. They are saying she is an easy skip. They are completely mathematically wrong. Not only did Evanescia survive the V3 chopping block, but the private server testers just leaked raw footage of her completely dismantling the hardest piece of endgame content Hoyoverse has ever coded, Anomaly Arbitration. I am talking about a flawless, zero-cycle clear against the final king-in-check boss. Today, we are going to break down the exact math behind this zero-cycle run and compare her baseline E0S1 setup against her absolute powerhouse E1S1 whale build, so you know exactly where to dump your stellar jades when patch 4.2 drops. Phase 2, Anomaly Arbitration and the Action Value Nightmare. Before we talk about her eidolons, we have to talk about the playground she is currently destroying. Anomaly Arbitration is not Memory of Chaos. It is not pure fiction. It is a completely different, utterly toxic beast. In standard MOC, your first cycle gives you 150 action value to make your moves, but in Anomaly Arbitration, the first cycle is an agonizingly long 300 action value marathon. To achieve a true zero-cycle clear in this mode, you cannot just drop one big nuke, you have to output tens of millions of sustained damage and clear multiple phases of a boss before that massive 300 AV clock finally runs out. Standard hypercarries burn out way too fast in this mode. They run out of buffs, they run out of energy, and the boss wipes them. But Evanescia is a physical elation unit. Her V3 kit is specifically hard-coded to abuse this extended cycle. Her entire damage engine revolves around an infinite feedback loop. When she gains energy, she gains her unique elation stacks. When she hits maximum stacks, she summons a massive zero-cost physical nuke onto the entire field. Because Anomaly Arbitration gives you so much action value in cycle 0, Evanescia gets to trigger this nuke 3, 4, or even 5 times before the boss gets to take a breath. Phase 3, E0S1, the baseline monster. Let's look at the baseline. Is she usable at E0? Absolutely, with a massive account-defining caveat. If you are going for a zero-cycle clear in this new mode, her signature light cone, what we call S1, is not a luxury. It is mathematically mandatory. Evanescia's best-in-slot light cone doesn't just give her a massive chunk of raw crit damage, it provides a unique energy regeneration rate multiplier that directly feeds her stack generation. Without this light cone, her summons are delayed by an entire turn. In Anomaly Arbitration, delaying a massive follow-up attack by one turn completely bricks your zero-cycle action value breakpoints.
At E0, the rotation is incredibly tight. You are relying heavily on your Elation Trailblazer to copy Evanescia's blast skill to artificially generate the extra resources needed to keep the team afloat. At E0, she hits like an absolute truck, but she requires flawless speed tuning. Your supports need to be sitting at precisely 166.67 speed to guarantee the maximum amount of turns within that 300 AV window. If you miss that relic breakpoint by a single decimal, your zero-cycle fails and the boss gets to move. Phase 4, E1S1, the zero-cycle cheat code. Now, what happens when you decide to swipe your card and pick up her Eidolon 1? The game literally breaks in half. Evanescia's E1 is arguably the most toxic, overpowered early Eidolon Hoyoverse has printed since Ruan Mei. First, it gives her a flat 20% all-type res pen. That alone is a massive, unconditional damage spike that completely ignores boss defenses. But the second half of her E1 is where the cheat code activates. After her summon attacks, it triggers an additional elation mechanic that instantly refunds a massive portion of her own stacks. Do you understand what this means for the math? She essentially refunds her own ultimate loop. At E1S1, you no longer have to stress about perfect 166.67 speed breakpoints on your relics. The extra stack generation means Evanescia is firing off her AoE nukes so fast that the Elation Trailblazer can barely keep up with the copy mechanic. In the leaked zero-cycle run, the E1S1 Evanescia completely bypassed the King boss's second phase simply through sheer, unadulterated follow-up volume. The boss's damage mitigation mechanics couldn't even activate before it was deleted from the server. Phase 5, the Premium Exodia Team Comp. You cannot pull this off alone, though. The team composition for this zero-cycle run is the most expensive premium elation setup currently imaginable. It is the Exodia of Honkai Star Rail. You run Evanescia in the main DPS slot. You put the new Elation Silver Wolf right next to her to shred the enemy's physical resistance and drop those orbital laser nukes. You slot in the Elation Trailblazer to act as the ultimate multiplier, manually copying Evanescia's highest damage elation skills and firing them back at the boss for free. And finally, you run Hua Hua with her new Nova Flare upgrade to act as the ultimate energy battery, constantly feeding Evanescia's ultimate so she never, ever stops generating stacks. This team does not play Honkai Star Rail. This team plays a single-player rhythm game while the boss sits there and accepts its fate. So, what is the actual verdict for your account right now? If you are a free-to-play player, your roadmap is crystal clear. You skip the bait banners, you grab Evanescia at E0, and you absolutely secure her signature light cone. The light cone is infinitely more valuable than E1 because it enables the core energy loop. You will still dominate the hardest endgame content, you just might clear it in 1 or 2 cycles instead of 0, which is completely fine for getting all your Stellar Jade rewards. If you are a light spender or a veteran who has been hoarding Jades for the last 6 months, getting Evanescia to E1S1 is the ultimate future-proofing investment. It guarantees that you will effortlessly brute force Anomaly Arbitration for the next entire year of the game's lifecycle. Because the action value math for Anomaly Arbitration is completely different from MOC, I actually built a custom speed breakpoint chart specifically for Evanescia. I put the complete chart along with the exact relic substats you need to hit for both the E0 and E1 builds in a full deep dive article on my website. The link is right at the top of the description. Go download that chart right now so you don't ruin your relic farming for the next month. Drop a sub if this video saved your account from the V3 Doom posters, and I'll see you guys in the next video.